What's up, YouTube? We've played a lot of games this year in the big 2025, 26 games to be exact. And frankly, I don't remember most of them, but we played them and that's what counts. I thought it would be a great idea to go over them, see which ones I really liked, see which ones we probably shouldn't have downloaded in the first place, and see which ones you guys enjoyed. So without further ado, let's hop into it. If you've been to my channel before, you might be familiar with me playing a few gaming demos. While some of the demos, or a lot of the demos, might be games that aren't released yet, most of the time I usually find a demo for a game that's actually out. But I think it'd be a good idea to test the waters first. This year I played 5 game demos. I have a feeling I played more and I just forgot to write it down, but this is what we're going with. First up on the list I have Critter Cove. This one wasn't particularly bad, necessarily. The graphics were nice. There were a lot of missions to do, running around, getting things done, cleaning up the island. Oh, we're running on umbrellas. We're finding everything but Renard and the townspeople. There's no way I walked right past him, right? Surely I didn't walk right past this man. I did. He's standing right here, waving and everything. However, it's not a game that I saw myself buying. It just wasn't fun enough. It was missing something. I don't know exactly what, but it was missing. It was almost too simplistic and needed a little more pizzazz, a little more difficulty, and frankly, a little more customization. But again, this was a demo. For a demo, we did have a lot of fun with it. It wasn't one that I wanted to immediately close, but I didn't buy Critter Cove and I don't plan to. Next up, we have the Sky Harvest demo. This is probably one of the shortest demos I've played this year. And I have to say, it has a lot of potential. It has a lot of potential. So basically, you're on a floating city, a little town, if you will. There's a floating town in the middle of the sky. It's on a rock or something or another. And like a lot of cozy games, farming games, there's people in town. You have to, make friends with your neighbors. You can buy certain things.
I'm Marcus, the town's carpenter, or as my wife Rose likes to call me, the guy who spends more time with wood than with her.
Oh.
I'm Caleb. I run the stone forge.
Hey, what do you do, ma'am?
Herbal medicines and twisted potions are my forte.
And essentially, you can fly from the main rock, which is where the town is, to your own plot of land on a different floating rock to plant crops and things of that nature. And it has good farming sim potential. I think the demo took me all of 30 minutes and that was it. But I didn't hate it. It definitely piqued my interest enough to want to play it more. I do feel like there's room for a lot to be added to this game, so it could potentially not be fun if they don't really add too much more, but I like this one. Sky Harvest is not yet out as a full game, so I'll have to wait and see. But it is one that I would consider playing in the future. And while we're on the topic of floating islands and sustaining life, that brings us to our next demo, Solarpunk. Solarpunk is another demo that we played where you're essentially floating on a rock in the middle of the sky, only it's more focused on providing energy to your land. So you have to find a way to essentially hook up solar panels and different energy sources to power your camp. Contrary to the last demo, unlike Sky Harvest, you're pretty much up here on your own. As a matter of fact, I don't think anybody else was up here with me when we played Solarpunk. It's you, it's the land, and I believe some chickens. There may have been one person on a different floating rock, like a salesman, that you briefly get to encounter when you embark on your hot air balloon. But other than that, it's you, the land, and trying to survive. It was interesting. This is another one I feel like I'm on the fence about. This is another one, if it's not too expensive of a game, I might get the full version just to see what they do with it. But I'm not necessarily pulled to one direction or another. Like, I feel like if I didn't come back across this title, I wouldn't be missing out on anything. But at the same time, I kind of want to see where it goes. It kind of alludes to being able to use your hot air balloon to explore other floating islands. So I would like to see how that works for us. If you run into other people, if you find different energy sources, what other terrains you might come across. It has potential, and the potential is what makes me want to play it more. It's a very cozy game. The only thing I was wishing for was a little bit of danger. Like, does someone come and try to steal our stuff? Does a tornado rip through and we have to rebuild everything? You know, we are pretty high in the sky. Do we need to worry about planting enough trees for oxygen or you know? So it has potential, and that's what makes me want to play it again. Solarpunk is not out yet though. It's supposed to release sometime in 2026, so I guess we'll have to look out for that one too. Next up on the demos list, we have Teddy's Haven, a fantasy shop inspired simulator. I didn't make that up. That's literally what the title says. If you've played any form of simulated shop games before, where you essentially open a store, set up a booth, like Supermarket Simulator or any game like that, where you set up the shop, you put out racks, you put out your merchandise, and you sell things. Pretty basic. Only Teddy's Haven adds a bit of exploration with it, and I think that's why I liked it the most. So essentially, you sell things that you go out and harvest from the land. You can order a few things just like you can with any other shop simulator to be shipped to you to put on the shelf, but most of them you actually have to go out and get yourself. It could be anything from picking apples off a tree to berries off a bush, to harvesting different types of gems and etc. and things of that nature. So not only are you running a shop, you are also going out every day exploring, gathering, and it just mixes shop simulator with the essence of gathering from a normal farming sim game. It's a shop simulator plus, if you will. And I would like to play it again. So with this being a combination of basically two different game types that I really like to play, Teddy's Haven is one of those demos that I played and I actually want to play the real game. It's on my wish list to buy. We'll probably see it again in 2026. So coming up to our last demo that I've played the most recently, Paleo Pines. Paleo Pines is a cute little game where you run around and essentially try to befriend dinosaurs. You use your little flute to play a special tune to charm them and essentially get them to be your friend. Take them back to your plot of land and make them a cozy little home. It definitely is a farming sim. You do have to grow your own crops, enclosures for the dinosaurs. There's also a little town that you go into where you can buy goods and complete tasks on the bulletin board. Although it does follow a lot of the normal cozy game farming sim cliches, I guess you would say. I found this game to be very enjoyable. I haven't played a lot of games with dinosaurs in it, but they made all of these super cute. You can have them follow you around town or ride them into town and collect more dinosaurs, harvest different berries and foods, and explore different areas, which is always super fun to do. The graphics on this one are absolutely adorable. One of your main quests when you come into town, or at least for the demo, was to try and open up an area that has been inaccessible to the townspeople and has left many of them unable to actually reach their normal homes. So it's your job to befriend the dinosaurs and essentially use their strength to unblock that area to help the townspeople get where they need to be. Paleo Pines is one that is out as a full game. I believe I'm gonna go buy this one. This one was very cutesy. I enjoyed playing it very much, and it's one of those games you really don't have to use a lot of critical thinking for. It's definitely a cozy game that you can just kind of jump into and enjoy. A little slow paced, but still enjoyable. All in all, with all the demos we played this year, I will say that I enjoyed all of them. Did I wish some of them were longer? Yes. Did I realize after playing one or two of them that I would not be buying the game? Absolutely. But I found a few with potential, and I found some that I will be spending my money on. Let's move along. Now that I've gone through our demos, let's jump on into the full games, shall we? All right, I played a lot of games this year that I tried to give a chance and just didn't work out. Some of them cozy, some of them a little more chaotic, all of which are a bit on brand for me. These are those. First up, we have Infinity Nikki. Now, Infinity Nikki was a very cute game that I just kind of stumbled across. You are essentially a character that rolls into town, much like a lot of these, that has to help different people do different things. This is a horrible description. But the kicker with this one is fashion. Infinity Nikki is very much about you discovering different clothings, different outfits, and things of that nature, and having fashion battles with the locals. It's almost like a variation, like a interesting spin on a Pokemon game. That's probably a bad way to explain that. But in the meantime, you're out exploring the land, gathering different goods out in the wild, collecting coins and things of that nature that you can essentially turn into materials for clothing or trade with people to get clothing or improve your skills. I did enjoy Infinity, Nikki, when I played it. However, I'm not huge on fashion. I'm not great at fashion, but I feel like you didn't really need fashion skills to play this game, if I'm being honest. I personally got bored after a while. There are different puzzles and things to do in there, which is fun, which kept me entertained. But all in all, the general pretense is you're doing everything to gather clothing and unlock better outfits and things of that nature. And it just became a little redundant to me. I personally got bored with it. Now, I do feel like it's a good game and it's definitely worth playing and giving a try. I just feel like it wasn't the game for me. That being said, I do have a lot of hours into this game. I played it for quite some time before I got tired of it. And for this to be a free game, the amount of content you get is amazing. I mean, there is so much to do in this game. It's crazy that it's free, if I'm being honest. So definitely worth the download. Next up, we have a game I played called Jusant. And I will say this one was pretty fun. It was a platform puzzle style game where you're essentially climbing to the top of this giant rock. You have to use a little bit of brain power and ropes to jump from one place to another. And sometimes you have to use things that are on the rocks, the bugs, the flowers, whatever, to kind of help you get there. I'll be honest, I didn't finish this one. I got 90% of the way, maybe even 95% of the way up the game, and just never went back to finish it. I don't know why, because I was having fun playing it. It's just, it was one of the ones I played until I was too sleepy to keep playing. And then I played something else the next day, and this one just kind of fell on my DNF list. So if you like platform style games, this one is a fun one to choose. It's a great game, and it's going to give you a couple hours of gameplay. Moving along, we have a game that I looked forward to so much before it came out. If you've been here for a little while, you may have seen me play a Dragon Age game before. And so this year, what came out was Dragon Age: The Veilguard. And I have to say, I was so excited for this game because the last Dragon Age game I played, it took us a few weeks to get through, but I beat the game. I had a bunch of fun playing it, and I just wanted the next thing in the line. Unfortunately for me, that's a bit of where my excitement ends. Let me not make it sound that dramatic, okay? Dragon Age: The Veilguard itself, I did get a lot of gameplay out of. It was a fun game for me. As always, the graphics are great. I like the different characters. You essentially have a team of characters that you pick up along your journey, and you can choose, I believe it's 2 of them at a time, to go with you on different quests to fight certain things. Sometimes you can pick whoever, sometimes they are character specific quests, and you're not only building your friendships, but building possible relationships with some of them. All the different quests are awesome. The characters are good. There's a good array of features. However, the main thing you fight in Dragon Age: The Veilguard is giant dragons, which is to be expected. The battle with the dragons for me, and it's not just one like last battle, you do it several times. So the battle with the dragons for me was so exhausting that once I hit like the 3rd battle, I believe it was, with the giant dragons, I just didn't want to fight anymore. I can't swing at the big ones for fighting the little ones. And now they're adding more people to the playing field. This one on the right should be about dead, if I'm being honest. Like, you know how many hits we've hit this man with? Oi. I have no health left. We're gonna have to fight this battle all over. I'm trying. And something's gotta give. Y'all should be dead.
You can't win this.
Blocked. She said return. They're still alive. They're still alive. No way, bro. 3? I have no health. We lost. Look, look. Look. How do I dodge this? I stopped playing the games because I was at a boss battle that I had spent hours on and still couldn't beat. I know how that sounds as a gamer. Pretty much a letdown. But this wouldn't be an honest review of the year of games if I didn't, add that in there. So I do own this game. I am disappointed that I did not finish this game, but I also don't anticipate playing this game again. So things I liked about it, you can build relationships with different characters. Like I said, I'm not super into like the romancy side of the game, but I do like that they give you the option to either form kind of like romantic bonds or regular bonds. And of course, for me, you completely have the options to have your rainbow relationships.
Also used to wet the bed. Want me to start that up again?
I'd rather you didn't.
Not that it's my business. She's not in my...
She always did like the flustered ones. In truth, Evitash's tastes are quite varied, although it is uncommon for her to be attracted to men.
Mother.
I love any game with inclusivity in it, and they definitely throw that in here, push the gender norms, if you will. The fight scenes are fun. There's so much to explore in this game. There's so many different areas. There's so much map space. You will get lost. So all in all, if you are someone who is not a quitter for boss battles, this game would be great for you. For me, it's gonna have to be mid. I liked it up until the boss battles, I will say that. And each one made it a little less enjoyable. And speaking of games that I was excited for this year, brings us to Inzoi. Inzoi, if you've never come across it, is a life simulation game. Before it came out, was compared highly to The Sims. I think that is where my disappointment starts with Inzoi. So Inzoi, they definitely took time to get the graphics very nice on this game. There are a lot of design elements that I think people will appreciate, both in character customization and in the decorating aspect, all of that of your house. They have a lot of features. If you're used to playing The Sims, it's a little difficult to navigate at first, but it is doable. I will say that Inzoi was a letdown to me because I expected a game similar to Sims. If you've never played The Sims is a life simulation game that is a little chaotic. All right, some things don't make sense. You can be a criminal thief today, and tomorrow you can decide you want to be an astronaut and go into space. Okay, there's always a little whimsy. Inzoi is a very realistic game. And I mean like to a fault. Sims is fun in the sense that it's life simulation, but where you're managing a family and their day-to-day life and making sure, they don't die or burn down the house or, and make sure they get fed and things of that nature. And you can work if you want to, you don't have to. Inzoi is very realistic. And the best way I can put it is in Sims, you have the ability to almost manipulate time and the way things work in life. Like I can sit down and read a book in Sims and be a professional plumber in a few hours. But in Inzoi, you're going to get a job and you're going to go every day to that job and actually do that job. Good example, I worked at Pier and my job was to stand at the Ferris wheel and let people on and off the Ferris wheel for the whole shift. And it was just like grueling. The one thing that I think Inzoi missed about people who play life simulation games like The Sims is nobody wants exact real life. Like if I want to make a drop of money and spend all my time at work, and then the only outside activities is walking on the beach or walking through the park, I just go outside in real life. It's missing a lot of the whimsy and the fun, which isn't horrible. It's just not what I was expecting. Felt very strict. Inzoi is another game that I have not been back on. The thing that made me essentially stray from this game, aside from it being so stagnant, Inzoi prior to release definitely pushed being LGBT inclusive. And when I play life simulation games, I like to have relationships much like my own. You know, I have a wife. So in game, I would like to have a wife. Inzoi is more LGBT tolerant than it is inclusive. And so what I mean by that is when you go out in your interactions and you speak to, you know, random strangers and you build your friendships and things of that nature, my main character was female. Any other woman I go and talk to would only become friends. There were no romantic options to entertain, you know, maybe dating life or anything of that nature. Whereas any male that I talked to in the game immediately started generating like romantic lifeline. Like even if, you know, I was being friendly, it was immediately like, oh, this is a potential dating option. And so it wasn't fun. And so it was just kind of like you get one option. Like obviously it's a game, whatever. If we're going to have a husband in the game, we're going to have a husband in the game. You know, it is what it is. But them promoting it as if you would have the option and then it not actually being an option was a bit of a letdown. There were ways around it. You could, if you started your family with 2 people of the same gender, then you could have them in a relationship that way. But even then, it definitely seemed like more of a roommate situation. Now, this opinion is obviously based on Inzoi when Inzoi came out earlier this year, because I have not played it since. So if they have updated it or anything in that range, kudos to them. I wouldn't know. I don't see myself playing it. I kind of count that one as a loss as far as buying a game goes, but who knows? I might see some updates or something and give it another shot. But as of right now, that one's on the flop list. Moving along to a game called Hokko Life. Hokko Life is one that I downloaded on the Switch, and it is much like Animal Crossing. If you've ever had the joy of playing Animal Crossing, this one is very similar. But if you haven't, essentially you're on a little island and you get to fix up houses for you and for the other people who live on the island, explore, gather things, and things of that nature. I do like the cuteness of the game. It is, like I said, it's very much like Animal Crossing. It's cute, it's wholesome. You get to know your neighbors, you help people, you know, you have your certain amount of daily tasks that you do, and you get new ones every day. With that being said, it is a very slow to play game. So it's one of those games you get a handful of missions each day, and once you do those, you're kind of left to either decorate or just kind of gather supplies and wait for the next day to hit. So for me personally, it was a no. I played it a little, and it's one I definitely played a little more off stream than I did on stream, just because there wasn't really much to do for very long. But yeah, it went on the DNF list. Cute game though. If you do like Animal Crossing, you would definitely like this game. All right, next up we have Indiana Jones in this Great Circle. This one came recommended to me by a viewer who saw me play something else, I can't remember what, and said, well, if you like that, you'll probably like Indiana Jones. And so I tried it, and I did enjoy the game. Indiana Jones was much like Tomb Raider, games like Tomb Raider, where you need a little critical thinking for, a little puzzle solving, a little problem solving. And I think that is what landed Indiana Jones on the DNF list. Because I flip between cozy games where you basically farm and chaotic games where you run around getting into trouble. And so puzzle games kind of fall somewhere in the middle for me. I like to play them, but if I'm not in the mood to problem solve, I won't play it. And so Indiana Jones was one that kind of got put on that shelf of I'll play it when I feel like it, and I never went back to it. That being said, I would recommend it. I probably won't finish it, but I would recommend it. That brings us to our next DNF'd game, Barbie Project Friendship. Now hear me out. I know it's a little surprising to play a random Barbie game at my big age, okay? But why not? I had never played a Barbie video game before, so I wanted to see what it was about. And I actually had a lot of fun. You go around as two Barbies. You can swap between the two, but you go around as Barbie, essentially helping fix back up this old amusement park that's about to be closed. They were giving up on it, and you essentially bring the park back to life. I played the majority of this game and didn't finish it on stream. I did finish it off stream. I got about 95% of the way through on stream, and then we were supposed to finish it, and I decided to finish it off stream because YouTube told me that they were muting my audio for a lot of it. The Barbie games, a lot of the mini games are music based, and apparently it is copyrighted music. So to avoid my account being flagged, we finished that one off stream. But all in all, I actually had a lot of fun with that game. Some of it did get a bit repetitive towards the end of the game, like the mission styles, but you have to remember this is a game that is more geared towards younger children than it is adults. So I expect the games to not be too difficult. I expect it to be a little repetitive. The only downside I feel like to this game is that because it is likely geared towards the younger crowd, it does pretty much tell you where everything is. Like if I just stand here, all you'll see is a blue puzzle piece. I think it would be cool if they allowed you to look for it first, and if after like a certain amount of time you didn't find it, then pop up with the little indicator, because otherwise you see the blue puzzle piece before you see whatever you're looking for. Kind of takes away from the hunt for it. But it was a lot of fun. And even though I technically did finish this game, I threw it on the DNF list because you guys technically didn't get to see me finish it. And this brings us to our last DNF'd game, Spiritfarer Farewell Edition. Now this game I actually like a lot. In this game, you're basically a person who goes and finds different spirits. You go to different islands and things. You're on a boat and you travel and find different spirits who need your help finishing what seems like their last issues in life. And I wouldn't say in life because they're obviously already past, but you help them resolve whatever feelings or unresolved issues they have going on, and then you help them crossover. I like this game a lot. It's very well done. The art is pretty. Being on your own boat and having to build up rooms and things and restaurants and stuff on this boat to accommodate the different spirits you pick up is pretty interesting. It's pretty fun. This one is only not finished because I wasn't prepared to be sad. So like I said, you essentially help them become at peace, and once they're at peace, you help them cross over. That is your job as the Spiritfarer. And although I should have gotten that from the title and the preview, I still wasn't ready. And so after we helped, I would say, our first spirit crossover, I got really sad. It's a lot. At the end of the day, it is a game about death. And so I kind of backed away from this one because I was like, okay, I'm not ready to be sad today. I wasn't planning to cry. So I do plan to finish this one, but for now it's sitting on our DNF shelf. I do recommend it though. I think people should play this one. Here's where we hit the meat and potatoes. These are all the new games that I've played this year that actually stuck. So first up, we've got Schedule 1. Schedule 1 is arguably my favorite game from this year that we acquired. So if you've never seen Schedule 1, Schedule 1 is essentially a game that only adults should play. You're, for all intents and purposes, a drug dealer and grower. So you grow your own product, you mix your own product, you sell your own product. It sounds crazy, but hear me out. It's a fun game. It's something so different from everything else that you just gotta play it to see what you can do. You can ride around on a skateboard, you can run away from the cops. You know, it's one of those games you just have to play it to see the chaos. It's still in the making. It's an indie game made by one guy who wanted to stay in control of his game, rightfully so, and make sure he does it right. So there are new updates rolling out. There have been new updates rolling out through this year. There's still more to come, but because it's him and now he has a very small team working on it, it's gonna be a while. But Schedule 1 is one I will always come back to play when the new updates come out because it's just a fun game. I technically beat the game up until this point, although they did just roll out an update for growing shrooms, so I'll probably be looking into that soon. But other than that, I have technically beat the storyline and even the additional storyline they added on with the Mafia. So this one will be in rotation whenever they have updates, but for all intents and purposes, we beat it. Also, if you're considering giving this game a try, Schedule 1 has probably the longest demo that I've ever played. The demo itself has so much of the actual gameplay. If you want to give it a try, but don't want to spend money on it, the demo has plenty for you to do. And it is a game you can play either solo or with up to 3 friends. So if you're looking for another multiplayer game, here's a chaotic one. Moving along to the next game that I really enjoyed playing this year, South of Midnight. Now, South of Midnight is one that I just kind of stumbled upon, but I was really happy to do so. It takes place in, I want to say, Louisiana, in the Bayou. It's been a while since I played it, don't judge me. But essentially, you play as a teenage girl who ends up getting separated from her mom after a giant storm that came out of nowhere, picks up their home, and carries it down a river. While chasing the house and running to safety, you run to the closest home to you, which is your grandmother's house, and soon find out that not only is your grandmother not going to help you, she's hiding something from you. The game is centered around uncovering hidden family secrets, the truth about your past as well as your mother and your grandmother's past, and finding out that you have magical powers. Powers that you will then have to use to not only rescue your mom, but set things of the past straight. You meet a lot of mystical beings along the way that either help you or stand in your path. Either way, it's your duty to navigate through these obstacles and fix everything before it's too late. It's beautifully done. The graphics are gorgeous. The music in the game is even melodically singing the folklore behind the main storyline. It's just a really well done game. If you like a game with a good storyline behind it, that's a fun one to play. I definitely enjoyed it. It's one I actually finished. So yeah, South of Midnight, a good one for the year. Next up, we have one of the co-op games I played with my wife this year, a little game called Old Market Simulator. It's what you think it is. You run an old market. You're given a modest little shop in the middle of town where you set up your crates and things and you sell fresh produce. So every day you get to order so much and resell it to the people in the town. You are in an old town, kind of like medieval-ish. And there's other little things you can do. You can go and, ride a horse. You can go and fish. You can gather things that you can bring back and sell in your shop as well. It's pretty cool. As a co-op game, it was kind of fun. Arguably, the worst part of the game is actually the running of the store itself, because it's a bit slow paced if you're just standing behind the register being the one to sell things. But if you're out and gathering things, bringing things back, taking things to what is their little recyclable area, it's pretty fun. So all in all, not a bad game. Next up, we have Water Park Simulator. So arguably, this one should have been on my DNF list, but I felt like it didn't belong there because there's no reason I didn't finish Water Park Simulator. I actually took a break from streaming. And so Water Park Simulator just kind of got sat down temporarily. So I don't count it as not finished because I do plan full-fledged to go back, even though I know I said the same thing about Spiritfarer. But Water Park Simulator is exactly that. You build your own water park and it's a little chaotic. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. Who just broke in? Go ahead and change. Yep. Get out of my park. Rude. Can we? Because where are you going? We don't have free restrooms here. I just said it's not free here. You got a warning and everything. Get out. Rude. Ooh. They start turning gray and everything. Pick a different seat. There were two other available chairs she could have chosen. People try to sneak in and you have to go and kick them back out. Water puddles form and you have to save people from slipping and hurting themselves and fix up the park from old and shabby, looking like it would give you tetanus, to a beautiful 5-star water park that anybody would actually want to pay to go to. It's chaotic. It's a bit fast paced because things come at you all at once, but it's a ton of fun. I really enjoyed this one. I do like the fact that you are able to customize the water park so much. And I like all the little Easter eggs they threw in, like Queso being one of the people to break into your water park, for instance, and eat all of the hot dogs. Random thing to add in, but hilarious nonetheless. So definitely a good one for the year as well. Our next game is Black Ops 7. Okay, Call of Duty Black Ops 7. I didn't know where to put this one on the list, if I'm being honest. Now, if you've been here before, then you know that Call of Duty Black Ops, any of them, is my game. However, Black Ops 7 to me is arguably the worst Call of Duty Black Ops game that they have made. I don't like it. Full disclosure, I am referring to and only to the multiplayer game modes. I haven't played the actual storyline and I don't play Warzone or anything like that. This is specifically for Call of Duty Black Ops 7 multiplayer online. That's what I play. That's what I buy it for. There's something about it that's just clunky and off-putting. I wish I had a better description than that, but I don't. Although I do appreciate the call back to some older maps, and I definitely like that there are new operators to choose from. But aside from that, I don't like this one. Something in the game mechanics just doesn't seem quite right. It plays almost more like a Modern Warfare game than a Black Ops game, and I myself am not a fan of Modern Warfare, so it could be that. I have Black Ops 7 because I have Xbox Game Pass, and all I can say is I'm so glad I didn't actually pay for that game because I would have wanted my money back. To this day, I still play Black Ops 6 instead. The wife and I do plan to try out the story mode because they did introduce co-op story mode, this time co-op campaign mode, I should say. So we're gonna try that and see how that is. But I'll be honest, I'm not very hopeful. I haven't heard good things about it, and if it's anything like the multiplayer options that I've already played, I'm not gonna like it. But we'll see. We'll see. So that's why this one is kind of in the mix, because I didn't know where to put this. Is it really a do not finish if you barely started? Moving on to our next game in this category, we have Animal Shelter 2 Simulator. I did play Animal Shelter 1 Simulator and I loved it. For those of you that don't know, I am a big animals girly. I love the dogs, love the cats. So this is right up our alley. We essentially run an animal shelter where we rescue dogs and cats from off the street, because in Animal Shelter 2, we do actually go out and get the animals this time versus them just kind of popping up. So we rescue them, we nurse them back to health, we get them adopted out, we go and socialize them at the park. We deal with the people that come in that are trying to adopt. They definitely took Animal Shelter 1 and elevated it to the next level, and I appreciate that. It is not a game that I play on stream a lot. I feel like there's just a lot going on when you're tending to the animals, and trying to remember to take care of each one properly along with reading chat makes me a lot more susceptible to have my animals taken away from me. And it is very bad when you are an animal shelter getting your animals taken away. You're supposed to be the last step. Where are they going after that? You know, they added DCF to the animal game. It's one I was looking forward to, and it's one that definitely didn't disappoint when I finally got to play it. I only had 2 complaints about this game. The first one being the outdoor option. So with all of the animals, the enclosures have the ability to open a door to the outside so that the animal can essentially go and come as they please. I have found that doesn't work properly. I've seen that cats will walk out but get stuck outside and won't come back in sometimes. The dogs don't go outside at all. So you can open their door, they won't walk out, and if you manually pick them up, carry them out to the yard and put them in their outdoor fenced in area, they won't come back in, even with the door open. open. I bet it's not supposed to work that way. So that part's a little frustrating because once you have a full shelter of animals, it's a little hard to make sure everyone gets out before they use the bathroom in their cage. So having that door open to allow them to go and come as they please would be very helpful. The second thing I have an issue with is there's some kind of glitch where the game doesn't register the food and water that I put down. And so I'll get a notification that the animal is starving or thirsty and about to be taken away from me for neglect when they do in fact have provisions in their cage. They do seem to have frequent updates for this game, so I'm hopeful that these things will be fixed. And they even have a new DLC coming out soon with small pets, ferrets and mice and little things like that. So if you like simulator games and pets, I recommend giving this one a try. All right, last up in this category, we have Winter Burrow. Now, Winter Burrow is one that I am still actively playing. It's one I thought it would be fun to play for the holiday season, if you will. You're a little rat in the snow. Your parents moved you from your home to a new place where they ended up passing away. And now you've decided to go back to your original home that has not been taken care of and has since been abandoned. Basically, everybody in that area has pretty much left, aside from a few old timers that decided to stay. So it's your job to brave the snow, brave the basically blizzards, fix your house back up, help your aunt, and help some of the other people you meet along the way. I'm still playing this one. But so far, it's a cute little game. It has a nice little storyline to it, some pretty basic game functions. Plays a little slow because one of the main things you get hit with in the game is fatigue. Your character gets fatigued or gets too cold. So you have to constantly make sure you're warming your character back up to keep progressing. But I think that's more of a personal skill issue than a longevity feature of the game, because I realized that they taught me how to brave the storm, brave the cold, and I just chose not to do it. So I think we would have been done with this game already. I'm still actively playing it, but it's okay. All in all, I like it. It's a cute game. It is one that I would recommend to other people if you just want something cutesy to play. Finally, rounding out our 2025 games of the year, it's going to be our tried and true games that I come back to time and time again. There are a lot of games that you can play and revisit. I have a few of those that I rotate throughout the year when they get updates or just to do side quests or things of that nature, and these are those. So first up, we have Fortnite. I have been playing Fortnite for quite a few years now. Fortnite is one that we have bounced on and off of in different months of this year. I dwindled off of it because it got a little chaotic for me, but every now and then I get bored, I go back to it. Playing Fortnite is like riding a bike. You kind of don't forget it. They change up the weapons and you get random extra powers and things of that nature, but for the most part, it stays the same. Next up, we have Call of Duty Black Ops 6. We've already talked about 7. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, the multiplayer online, is my go-to co-op game with my wife, which we try and incorporate just about once a week. I've always loved the Call of Duty Black Ops franchises specifically, and Call of Duty 6 is just the one we have available right now to play, and so we play it. It's one of those games that I can just easily jump into and enjoy myself and not have to think about too much. Next up, we have Disney Dreamlight Valley. I have made a lot of progress in Disney Dreamlight Valley this year. We have been bouncing back and forth to it, especially with them rolling out different updates and different characters. We already finished the main storyline, and it's to the point now that my little island has so many faces on it, I don't remember some of the ones we have. But I do know this year alone, we've opened Mulan's door, we've gotten Peter Pan, we've gotten, who else? Alice in Wonderland. I finally opened my Monsters Inc. door, and I'm pretty sure there are a handful of others like Buzz Lightyear and Woody and all of that. So back and forth to Dreamlight Valley, we've made a lot of progress there. We've unlocked a lot of characters over the year. I'm not even gonna lie to you and tell you I know all of them that I did this year, but I do know it was a lot. Popping up to our next bounced on and off again game, we have Palia. Now Palia, I remember we finished up the main storyline last December. I actually technically beat the game last December. However, like a lot of these games that you can go back to, they've had updates throughout the year, and Palia has gotten to the point now that they actually put out monthly updates that involve small quests so that people who have beat the main storyline still have something to do in the game besides go and just hunt and forage until they get bored. So it is nice to see that they have implemented that as a thing that they're going to keep rolling out, that every month there's going to be new new small quests you can do. They also added the Elderwood this year, which is a completely new map, a new part of the map to explore and go and do things. So that opened up a whole new world for us as well, along with, you know, new potato pods, a lot of new plushies and things of that nature. And finally, in our tried and true games that we bounce back and forth to, I went back to Minecraft this year. Now, I don't think I've actually played Minecraft prior to this year on stream, because I don't think I've played it since, like, I don't know, 2018 maybe. But Minecraft is a game the wife and I used to play all of the time together, just all the time. We go, we explore places, we build houses, things of that nature. So we brought it back this year. For whatever reason, we decided, you know, now would be a great time to play Minecraft again. And so we built a house, almost burnt it down, fixed that house, went and built new houses, explored all the land, collected all the animals, you know, we did that. And so that's Minecraft is another one of those games that you can play, get a little bored with after you've played like 100 hours, but then come back to with all new inspiration. So that's been a nice one to loop back around and bring back into rotation. 26 games this year. On one hand, I'm a little surprised there wasn't more than that, especially with demos. There is a chance that I did not document all of the games properly. That is a very real chance. But I think I got a pretty accurate count nonetheless. I think it was more or less we're in the right ballpark. It was nice for me to be able to see what we played, because I'll be honest, I forgot a good handful of these. There's also some I need to go back and buy, apparently. All in all, we played some pretty good games. Favorites would have to be Schedule 1, brand new to us this year, that popped out with hours of fun, and Animal Shelter Simulator 2. I enjoy the first one. I enjoy the second one. It's not one you guys get to see me stream a lot, but it is one I do play off stream a lot. So that's great. Of course, we had our ones that weren't necessarily for me. And then we had the ones that I think need to go back to the drawing board, Inzoi, and try a little harder. But nonetheless, I got a lot of cool games this year, and I plan on bringing you guys a lot more. Stay tuned to see what we play next. Bye, guys.